A single dad stops to help a millionaire CEO stranded on a deserted mountain road. He refuses her money, flashes a kind smile, and drives off. But as Clare Donovan watches his taillights disappear, something clicks. That voice, those eyes, the way he moved it, all feels hauntingly familiar. And suddenly she realizes, he's not just a stranger. He's the first love she never forgot. The one she lost 15 years ago, and he doesn't even recognize her. Before we continue, tell us in the comments where you're tuning in from. We love seeing how far our stories reach. And if this story touches you, like, share, and subscribe for more. Claire had tried the ignition 4 times already. Each attempt ended the same way, just dead. She stepped out, her heels crunching the gravel, staring down the endless mountain road. Her phone teased her with 1 bar, then none. Of course, she whispered. Irony dripped from her words. That morning, she'd closed a multi-million-dollar deal with 40 executives watching her every move. She'd been unstoppable, and now she couldn't even start her car. Then she heard a low rumble approaching. An old pickup truck rolled to a stop. The door creaked open. A man stepped out tall, broad-shouldered, wearing a grease-stained work shirt and well-worn jeans. His face was weathered but kind, his eyes lined with laughter. He looked at her car, then at her, tilting his head. "Engine trouble, eh?" asked Keith. Claire's chest tightened. Relief? Maybe. Or something more. It won't start. I don't know what's wrong. Mind taking a look? He nodded, moving with the quiet confidence of someone used to solving problems with his hands. Popping the hood, he leaned in, examining the engine. Claire watched him, and that nagging sense, she knew him from somewhere, began. "When's the last time you checked the battery?" "Eh?" "Ask it." "I just bought this car 6 months ago. Could be a loose terminal. Let me see what I've got in the truck." Minutes later, he returned with a wrench, fixing the terminal with smooth, assured movements. Claire couldn't stop studying him. Something about him tugged at a memory she couldn't place. "I'm Clare, by the way," she said. He glanced up, smiling. "Ethan." The name didn't ring a bell, but that smile, warm, genuine, the kind that made her feel seen. She was sure she'd seen it before. "Live around here?" she asked. "About 20 minutes down the road. Run an auto shop in town." He straightened up. "Try it now." She slid into the driver's seat and turned the key. The engine roared to life. "Oh my God," she breathed. "Thank you. Just a loose terminal." "Happens sometimes," he said. She reached for her purse. "Let me pay you. 2 minutes." "No charge," he replied, already walking back to his truck. Claire handed him a business card instead. "At least take this if you ever need anything, call me." He read it, eyebrows raised at the title. CEO, Donovan Enterprises. He tucked it into his pocket with that same calm smile. She watched him drive off. And then it hit her. That smile, that kindness, the way he had really looked at her. She remembered every detail. 15 years ago, college library steps. A group of drunk guys cornered her late one night. Terrified, frozen until he appeared. Ethan Harris. He had walked her home, talked with her until dawn, kissed her softly, and vanished. She'd searched for him in vain. Now he was here, and he didn't remember. That night, Claire couldn't sleep. She searched his name online. Harris Auto Repair appeared immediately. Photos of him with a little girlima. A simple, happy life. Her finger hovered over the message button on his Facebook. What would she even say? "Hey, remember me? I've been measuring every man against you for 15 years. The next morning, Claire drove back to the mountain town. She told herself it was just to thank him properly. Harris Auto Repair sat modestly on Main Street. Claire watched through the window as Ethan worked. She almost left, but then he looked up, waved. She stepped inside. "Hi. I hope I'm not interrupting." "Not at all. Everything okay with the car?" She held up a paper bag. "I brought lunch. If you have time." He glanced at her, hesitant, then nodded. They sat on a bench outside a coffee shop. Silence hung for a moment. Then he asked softly, "Why are you really here?" "I wanted to thank you," she said. "For that day, 15 years ago. You saved me once. You made me feel like I mattered." He looked at her, confused, searching. October 23rd, outside the library. "Remember?" Ethan's eyes widened. Slowly, recognition flickered. "There was a girl. I walked her home. That night, that was me." "Yes, that was you," she whispered. Tears pricked her eyes. 15 years of longing. And now, Over the next weeks, Claire found excuses to visit the town. Lunches, dinners, long talks about the lives they'd lived apart. But Ethan held back, fear shadowing his eyes. One Friday evening, Claire confronted him. "Ethan, what's wrong?" He sighed. "Look at us. We don't make sense. You're a CEO. I fix cars and raise a kid. You deserve someone who fits your world." Claire took a step closer. "I'm not asking for your world. I'm asking for you. That night, you made me feel safe. You made me feel seen. And I've spent 15 years trying to feel that again. You were always in my heart." Ethan's hands shook slightly as he reached for hers. "I'm scared. Scared of not being enough." "You could never be not enough," Claire whispered. He kissed her. Then soft, tentative, then deep and consuming. 15 years of longing poured into one moment. "I have a daughter," he said quietly, "and I'm not leaving." "Your home is her home," she said softly. Ethan studied her, memorizing her face. "I've loved you since that night. Breathed deep, but never stopped." "I've loved you for 15 years too," Claire said, laughing through tears. 3 months later, Claire sat on the bleachers at Emma's soccer game, hand in hand with Ethan, cheering their little girl. She realized this life, these moments, was what she had been searching for all along. "That night, on his back porch, under the stars," Ethan said, "sometimes love isn't about perfect timing. Sometimes it's broken down cars, and some say love is a journey, full of winding roads and steep mountain paths," Claire replied, her eyes reflecting the endless sky. "Sometimes the stranger who stops to help isn't a stranger at all," Ethan added, his voice warm with a truth that had taken years to find. "And sometimes," she whispered, the words catching in her throat, "they're the answer you've been searching for your whole life." He pulled her close, the space between them finally gone, a promise of forever in his touch. "And this time," he said, his voice firm with resolve, "we're not letting go." It was more than a moment. It was the start of a new chapter, written together against all odds. Have you ever found love in the most unexpected place? Share your story below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales of destiny. The following weeks felt like a dream for Claire. She found herself slowing down, scheduling meetings remotely, and driving back to that small mountain town more often than she ever expected. Lunches with Ethan turned into dinners, and conversations stretched late into the evenings. Every moment together felt like reclaiming a piece of the life they had lost. Ethan showed her his world, a world that was simple, honest, and brimming with love. She watched him teach Emma about dinosaurs, saw the way he carried groceries while balancing his daughter on his hip, and admired how he fixed anything that broke without a single complaint. It was in these small, everyday moments that Claire started to see what truly mattered. She had conquered boardrooms and closed million-dollar deals. But here, with Ethan and Emma, she felt genuinely rich for the first time. One Saturday morning, Claire arrived at the auto shop. She found Ethan under the hood of an old truck, with Emma perched on a stool beside him, happily drawing in her notebook. "Morning," Claire said softly, leaning against the doorway. Ethan wiped his hands on a rag and looked up. "Morning. Want to help," Emma squealed with excitement. "You can watch me draw, Aunt Claire." Claire laughed. "I think I'll just watch. I'm not much of an artist." Ethan's eyes softened as he looked at her. "I was thinking maybe we should plan a camping trip. Just the three of us. What do you think? Claire's heart swelled with warmth. I think that sounds perfect. That evening, wrapped in blankets under a brilliant canopy of stars, they sat around a crackling campfire. Ethan opened up, sharing stories about his childhood, the mistakes he'd made, and the love he had kept buried for 15 long years. Claire listened, finally letting go of the fear and regret she had carried for so long. Poking at the fire with a stick, she said quietly, I thought I had to build an empire to feel important. But it turns out, all I ever really needed was this. You. Emma. This little town. Ethan reached for her hand and held it tight. I was so scared we didn't belong in each other's lives anymore, he admitted. But now, I see that we do. We've always belonged together. Tears streamed down Claire's face. I never stopped loving you, Ethan. Not for a single day, and I'm not letting this go again. A warm, genuine smile spread across Ethan's face, the same one she remembered from all those years ago. Good, he said, because neither of my weeks turned into months. Claire spent more and more time in the mountain town, her team easily adjusting to her working remotely. She and Ethan built a life together. It wasn't perfect, and it wasn't without its challenges, but it was real. Every evening, they'd watch Emma do her homework, laugh at her silly jokes, and hold each other close, grateful for the incredible second chance fate had given them. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, painting the sky in gold and orange, Ethan took Claire's hand. He led her to the top of the hill, overlooking the town. I wanted to show you something, he said, his voice soft. She looked around, taking in the golden light, the quiet streets below, and this place that had so unexpectedly become her home. It's beautiful, she whispered. Then, Ethan dropped to one knee. Clare Donovan, you've been in my heart for 15 years. You've shown me what it means to love and to be loved. Will you marry me? Claire's breath caught in her throat. Beside them, Emma gasped, covering her mouth with her little hands. Tears of pure joy ran freely down Claire's cheeks. Yes, Ethan. He pulled her into his arms as Emma ran around them, laughing with delight. That night, under a sky full of stars, they made promises that no amount of time could ever undo. Months later, the three of them sat around the dinner table, a familiar scene of talking and laughter. Claire had learned to cook some of Ethan's favorite meals, though she readily admitted she was far from perfect. Emma, as always, kept asking endless questions, and Claire and Ethan answered them together, a united team, looking at the two most important people in her life. Claire realized something profound. Life didn't have to be glamorous to be full. Success didn't have to be measured in deals and contracts. True happiness was right here in the love, the family, and the home they had built together. And sometimes, love really is worth the wait, because the mechanic who stopped on that mountain road was never a stranger. He was her first love, her second chance, and her forever home and 'tis time. She was never letting go.